Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to interrupt you if you don't mind for just a moment. One of the most important things that the North Carolina Airports Association does is work on your behalf from a legislative advocacy standpoint. We work with the General Assembly as well as our friends over at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Division of Aviation, to make sure that the airports have the resources they need to continue to grow and thrive. Something we began recently was recognizing some of the legislators that really show their support to the association and to what we try to do, what's important. This year, two very well-deserving individuals were selected. Unfortunately, one of them couldn't be with us, but we'll tell you a little bit about Representative Brenden Jones. Representative Jones comes from Columbus County and down where Eddie Madden is. He has supported aviation throughout the years as his role as the senior chair of the House Appropriations Transportation Committee. He got called away. He was doing something like writing a budget or something like that, so he couldn't be with us today. But with us today, we do have Senator Vickie Sawyer, who represents the 34th District, which is Iredell and Yadkin counties. She supports aviation through her role as the chair of the Transportation Committee in the Senate and co-chair of the Transportation Appropriations Committee. I had the pleasure of meeting Senator Sawyer not too long ago when she came down to look at a ferry that was being built here in North Carolina. So we're keeping it homegrown. So if you would join us up here, we would like to present an award to you. And with us we have
These are really heavy, so there's two of us to present.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
They're not that bad, they're just a little unwieldy.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Sorry, my thing. Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice. It's beautiful. Hey guys, thank you so much for that beautiful award. My name is Vickie Sawyer, and I know a lot of people like to say Iredell, but that's how I won my last election because my opponent didn't realize it's called Iredell. So I'm from Iredell County, North Carolina, and you can tell by my accent I'm local. I'm from North Carolina and proud to be here. One of the greatest honors of my life is serving you in the Aviation Division as the Transportation Appropriations Chair. So I know that my counterpart can't be here from the House. I'm not going to be able to I'm going to be pretty busy next week because I'm going to have to fix everything he's doing today. See, I had to get my dig in because he's not around. No, I kid, but let me tell you, I know you guys only take a few moments, but I do want to tell you where we are in the process of the budget in North Carolina, especially focusing on transportation. You'll see the budget as it came out of the Senate. Senator McGinnis and I's focus was restoring the faith in the DOT in North Carolinians' eyes. You know, they had a little bit of a rough patch a couple years back, but we are really grateful that Secretary Boyette and great leadership at the DOT is absolutely turning the ship around. So you'll see things in the budget and the special provisions, a lot of things talking about fund codes and all of, you know, what does that mean? Why is she talking about that? And what does it matter? But it's basically, I found out that the General Assembly and the DOT are like people who speak English and Old English. They just don't communicate very well. So part of the budget has been me making sure that they can communicate well. So when Auditor Beth Wood does come back around, she can give the DOT a glowing review. The reason why that's so important is one of my missions as the DOT chair is to modernize the funding for North Carolina and DOT transportation. For me, it is very important to make sure that as the gas tax goes down, that we will have revenue that will replace that gas tax so that we can make sure to invest in airports and continue our strong relationship with you. So again, you'll see a little bit of that modernization come out, and that's a bipartisan effort because, as you all know, transportation doesn't see red or blue. It just sees concrete and asphalt. Now that's a fight. So so thank you. So I'm very excited to be up here. I'm so grateful for my award. Thank you for inviting me to your beautiful luncheon, and please come by and say hello to me at any time. Thank you.
All right, I'll leave you alone to network for a few minutes, so enjoy your lunch. We'll be back soon. Thank you. Okay, I'm back again. Who wants to talk about golf? Wanted to draw your attention up here for just a moment. Wanted to thank AFCON, who is the outstanding sponsor of our golf tournament. And they sponsored the tournament, the lunch, the snack carts, and these awards. So our good friend, Mr. James Mouse, is gonna tell us everything all about the golf, except it was hot.
So I was going to ask if everyone had a nice cool day yesterday, but if you're in Pinehurst in August, we know the answer to that. So we should be throwing the presentation up on either side. We are going to do third, second, first place, and then go through some of the other awards. If I kill your name, don't kill me, please. But third place, and I will go ahead and say, I don't actually have the real scores. I do have what the lowest score was, but when you factor in handicaps and everything else, I don't have those numbers. And when you do get your award, they coming on the stage, or you want to go to the side? Okay, if you would just come to Mark's side of the stage. So third place, there we go. We got Jeff Perry, Mr. Sawyers, Brian McMahon, and Eric Hirschberger. Yeah. So second place, we have Stephen Brantley, Mike Landguth, David King, and John Majewski. We gotta get pictures, guys. We gotta do pictures. That's the new rule. It was the only twosome. So on their scorecard, the first place actually had a 61. So with that, we've got very small. Yeah, first place, right? Eddie Settle, John Yates, Trent Johnson, and Thomas Ragsdale. Hey, we got, at least get another twosome pick. So next is men's longest drive. I do not have the yardage on this, but Edison Castles. So the closest to the pin actually got to see this shot taken, and we joke, but no one's ever seen someone pull out a driver for a par 3, but he did it. Mike D'Arcangelo. So lastly, we always do a last place award. I know that's what you're really excited about. Who is the real loser of yesterday? So let's get a real big round of applause for Tim Grant, Fred Edison, Wayne Shelley, and Joe Wilborn. Maybe they're practicing. There he is. Thanks, everyone.
I'm going to continue speaking because you haven't heard enough from me yet. One of the important things that we do every year at this lunch is our annual business meeting and our annual educational foundation meeting. So we'll call that meeting to order. First, let me talk a little bit about this past year. I think the pandemic has obviously been this year's headline, but I believe what this year did is it demonstrated the can-do attitude that the aviation industry has. Lisa and the board have navigated the financial, logistical, programmatic challenges that came with the pandemic. Masterfully, they did that. They zoomed in with new ways of serving our members. The goal was to encourage communication and to provide opportunities to share, something we all needed very desperately in the past year. We needed to stay connected to the industry and to each other. We learned a great deal during this time, and despite the pandemic, the association continued on its primary mission of promoting aviation and the economic impact that aviation had. Bobby gave us a wonderful tool to talk about this year. Almost 10% of North Carolina's economic output is associated with aviation. 10%, that's amazing. We continue to support the education and the professional development through scholarships and by supporting the North Carolina or the NC AirTap program produced by ITRI and NCDOT. The first round of virtual regional meetings was held in the association's history. They were extremely well attended, and we want to thank everyone that has participated and supported those programs. Very important. It's hard to know what the new year is going to bring. We're all here. 2 weeks from now, we may not be allowed to get together again. We don't know. But rest assured that the association is going to be ready for this as we move forward. So our treasurer, Mr. Madden, couldn't be with us today, so he sends his regrets and asks that I share a brief word or two about the association's financials. Despite COVID, they are solid. However, because of the canceled conference, the net position did decline slightly. It's a little complicated this year because we have 2 conferences in less than 12 months, so it's a little complicated. As soon as this one's done, Lisa is already working on the next one. But we have a great conference. We're having a great conference, good attendance, and financially we should do well. If you'd like any more details or specific details, please let me know, and I'll be happy to share that. I need a motion to accept that financial report. Okay, so Andy, a second. Who moved? Bob? Okay. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, on to our next item is the proposed 2021-2022 Board of Directors. And we'll need a motion on this, but I will read you the proposed slate that came from our nominating committee. For President, Mark Davidson of Smith Reynolds Airport. Vice President, John Ferguson of Statesville Regional Airport. Secretary, John Kuhn of Asheville Regional Airport. Treasurer, Eddie Madden of Columbus County. Immediate past President, Chris White, Elmer J. Ellis Airport. For Region 1, Howie Franklin of Cape Fear Regional Airport. Bill Hopper of Pitt Greenville Airport. And Gage King of Henderson Field in Wallace. For Region 2, Ron Jewett of Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Phil Lanier of Johnston Regional Airport. And Bob Hutz of Raleigh Executive Jetport. And for Region 3, Jeff Perry of Charlotte Douglas, Peter Savalas of Charlotte Monroe, and Dirk Vanderleest of Concord Pageant Regional Airport. At-large members, Tony Coleman of Fayetteville Regional Airport, and Dan Danley of Burlington Alamance Regional Airport, and the representative from the Division of Aviation would be Bobby Walston. Do I have a motion? Howie, okay, Howie, you want a second? And Mr. Shorter, second. All in favor? Good, I get to leave. Okay, something new we're going to do this year that we haven't done in the past is we're going to recognize some of our great supporters who have supported the association for a number of years as members and sponsors and so forth. Their contribution is tremendous, and it's really hard to talk about how important their contributions have been to the association. The first one, we have a couple. The first one is a gentleman that many of us know, past president, Gary Broughton, who is the acting airport director for the Wilmington International Airport. When I call your name, come on up. And has served many years on the NCAA board, including the role of conference chair and president. Gary's dedicated his entire professional career to aviation. In 1971, he graduated from Atlantic Airlines School in Atlanta. He started a career with Allegheny Airlines in 1972 and transitioned to U.S. Air and U.S. Airways through the merger process. From 1972 to 2004, Gary worked at airports in Washington, D.C., Syracuse, Binghamton, Chicago, Memphis, Cleveland, and finally Wilmington. That's a lot of airports. He also earned his private pilot's license along the way, and Gary is currently planning his retirement at the end of this year from Wilmington International Airport. The NCAA board would like to thank you for your contributions to aviation, the state of North Carolina, and the North Carolina Airports Association. Thank you. Our next recipient is Mike D'Arcangelo. Senior Aviation Consultant with AVCON. He's been a strong supporter of the North Carolina Airports Association. Since graduating from Clarkston University and a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineer, Mike has been with the industry for 40 years, helping airports plan, design, and construct, and grant administration. Mike has been with AVCON for 19 years as a project manager, with Kimley Horn and Associates for over 10 years. Over the years, Mike has attended, sponsored, participated in regional meetings, the annual conference. Specifically, AVCON has been a primary sponsor of the golf tournament, which has not only allowed conference attendees to play for free, but has fostered genuine relationships that go well beyond work. The NCAA board would like to thank Mike for all of his contributions to aviation, the state of North Carolina, and the North Carolina Airports Association. Thank you, Mike. Our next recipient is David Griffin. David was the airport director for Stanley County for 32 years and served many years on the NCAA board, including the role of conference chair and president. He retired in 2017 and has been spending more time with his family and turkey hunting. David has been very passionate about the Bruce Matthews Scholarship and contributes significantly to its fundraising efforts. He got into airport management accidentally, as except for being a licensed pilot, he had no relative experience. He led Stanley County Airport into aviation significance, making it one of the most unique airports in the U.S. history. His tenacity in obtaining federal funding was key in the expansion and development of the airport. He also secured the relocation of the training operations for the 145th Tactical Airlift of the North Carolina Air National Guard to Stanley County, which became a significant investment in the Air National Guard and the airport. The NCAA board wants to thank David for his all his contributions to aviation, the state of North Carolina, and the North Carolina Airports Association. Okay. Oh, here he comes. Two more. David Peeler has always had a passion for aviation. From his early days in college to his time as the CEO and chairman of the board for W.K. Dixon, during his career in aviation was always included in some form or fashion, whether it be working on an aviation project, advising aviation staff, or flying his own aircraft. His love for the industry has been undeniable, unwavering. David received a bachelor's and master's degree from Purdue School of Engineering following his time with HNTB and Talbot and Cox and Associates. In October 1984, restless to make a change but not wanting to leave North Carolina, Dave founded a small local firm for sale whose principal owner had recently passed away, and he was able to purchase W.K. Dixon with a staff of 5. Adding airport planning and engineering to its wastewater and water practice. A month later, he landed the company's first airport contract with the Asheville Regional Airport and has practiced airport engineering since. For the next 45 years, David was always an avid supporter of NCAA through sponsoring annual conference and engagement and sponsorship of various groups. The NCAA board wants to thank him for all he has contributed to aviation, the state of North Carolina, and North Carolina Airports Association. David? Our final recipient is Mark Webke. Mark has been with the Charlotte Douglas International Airport for over 32 years and served in many roles on the NCAA board, including the role of conference chair and president. He started his career in aviation as the airport engineer in 1988 for Charlotte and is planning to retire at the end of this year. Mark has served Charlotte, the state of North Carolina, and the national airport community admirably for over 3 decades, dedicating his career to the advancement of aviation and airports. He has led and mentored so many people in the industry and has helped to guide the development of the largest airport in the state during that time. Mark led the establishment of the North Carolina Airports Association Educational Foundation, and Mark has challenged all conference attendees to donate to the NCAA Educational Foundation and has said he would match every donation up to $10,000. So visit Jeff among the Virginia Tech balloons in the conference room, and we want to take all of Mark's money. So his passion and generosity for the NCAA Educational Foundation is unsurpassed, and the NCAA board wants to thank him for all he has contributed to aviation, the state of North Carolina, the North Carolina Airports Association, and the Educational Foundation. I don't think Mark was able to join us today, but Jeff is going to join us. Again, visit the balloon coated table and take Mark's money. So we'll be wrapping up quickly. So the pandemic demonstrated something to the board, and we identified a weakness in the association's business model to some extent. During the pandemic, we found that much of our revenue that we use to operate the Airport Association is generated at this conference. And when the pandemic came and we had to cancel this conference, we began to look at how we regulate or generate revenue in the future. So there's been a proposal to potentially restructure the way we do membership moving forward. There's a little more detail in your program if you want to read about it, and we are soliciting feedback related to that. So we'd appreciate any comments anyone has on that. So, okay. I believe that is it. That's the last item we have. Take a motion to adjourn. So move. Mark. Second. And Andy, thank you. I figure there'll be no objection, so thank you. Thank you. All right, Mark, you have something fun for us, don't you? We need fun.
Thunderstruck! Thunderstruck! Yeah, thunderstruck! Thunderstruck!
Thank you, guys. My boys play baseball and they have walk-up music, so I figured it was like the last time I could have walk-up music. I'm 51 years old, you know, so I went ahead and did that. If you haven't played Kahoots before, hopefully everyone's starting to load it. We're going to put it up on the screen here. There's going to be a pin. The key, I didn't learn this at first, the key is speed. Whether you know it or not, you might want to just guess, and it's the right answer. It's a combination. So the leaderboard's going to change throughout this game we're going to play. So I just want to give you that tidbit. And those that are playing at home, literally, or at the office, the virtual, if you're going to log in, there might be a little bit of delay of getting your answer in, but you can Google and all that stuff, so you kind of can cheat on us. But if you could put a V at the end of your name, whatever it is, so if you're not here, we can still see that you're participating, and you might win. Okay, the other thing I want to mention is a disclaimer. No one has seen these questions or the answers. I've done my research on these answers. You might want to guess or pick the one that you think I think it is. there's money at hand. I'm not going to get into the later, and there'll be a big dispute. So everybody be a good sport, and we'll move forward. So I'm going to, AV guys, Josh, can I take this mic down because I cannot see the board over there? And we'll jump right in this here in a minute. Let's see, give people a time to put their name in. Anybody's having trouble? We got 84 right now. Is that about leveled off? I want to give everybody a chance. 94, 95. Do we have any with a V at the end, as in Victor? Dummy. We're still climbing. How are we doing on time? Let's see. Oh, we're good. Oh, we had 115, then we went down. Does anybody in the room need more time? You're too busy typing in. Big cash prizes. Want to give everybody a chance. All right, 10 seconds. All right, let's do this. First question. There's a countdown here. 10 seconds. This is an easy one. All right, let's see the answer. 72. 80 got it. That's good. All right, next question. It might get harder, it might get easier. Let's see how many been reading Daniel's report. 345,000. All right, see how the leaderboard changes there? And guess who's up? Is that our Daniel, the one who did the report? Uh-oh. Seconds. Bottom right corner's looking good. 4 people picked you, Mike. All right, Phil Mickelson. All right, the leaderboard's changing again. Y'all are still in it. Read every word. Seconds. All right, the key there was which university does not. So UNC Pembroke. All right, leaderboard. JP's up there. Sandman. All right, Daniel, we gotta distract him. other one was commercial. This is general aviation airports. 27,000. All right, let's see. Oh, JPK, Daniel came up again. We gotta, whoever's sitting next to him, distracted. Oh, he's gonna get this one too. All right, 5 seconds. All right, recreational users in the state, 33,000. Scary. Akon, JP, Sandman, Aaron B. All right, only got a few more left. True or false? 50-50 chance. True. I think we talked about it yesterday, 1974. It's getting a little harder. It was an airport authority board member, very critical in the CAP. JP, Sandman, Aaron B. Leaderboard staying up with those three. All right, only 2 left. Very obscure, I know. In the hallway, there's a picture of her with her dog, Dave. And when she would do exhibits or shooting demonstrations, he would go through the crowd and sniff out, and they donate the money to the Red Cross. All right, top 3 there. Last question. Some are saying it's too easy, I can tell. All right, Wilmington. They were headquartered in Winston-Salem, where you all will be next year. We're excited. And who do we have winners here? Sandman, JP, and Aaron B. I have no idea who these people are, so you're gonna have to identify yourself. So why don't we have 3rd place come up? Sandman, who's Sandman? There he is. There you go, good job. All right, 2nd place, who does it say, JP? Wow, wow. Right here, didn't have to walk too far. Congratulations. All right, 1st place, Aaron B. We want to know the secret to your success. Were you guessing the whole time, or did you know every answer? You guessed at them? Okay, all right. That's how you win. It's all about speed. All right, thank you. I think our next... promptly at 2 o'clock, our next session, so we'll see you then.